Well, I am in Charlotte today at the Courthouse Square Museum. I am with Julie Kimmer. She is the director of the museum. We're standing in the old classroom they have locked up for the schoolroom here in the museum. And I'm going to walk around and take a tour here. You want to say anything about the museum here, Julie?
So Courthouse Square Association's been in existence 26 years. We have used the museum or used the building as a museum and also as an activity center for the community, having the luck of having the 1 acre of square in the center of town. You know, we try to share it with as many community members for as many fun activities as we can. We also have a number of renters that help us derive an income and help take care of the buildings. But I'm just delighted you were here today and we get a tour of the building.
Should be fun. Well, let's go take a tour.
The courthouse building that stands in the center of the town square in Charlotte, Michigan, had its cornerstone placed in 1883. 2 years later, in 1885, the courthouse officially opened to the public. The courthouse, with its neoclassical style of architecture and majestic statue of Lady Justice standing boldly atop a bell tower, became an iconic building in downtown. Unfortunately, a fire broke out on July 4th, 1894, that gutted much of the inside of the building. The fire, thought to have been caused by a painter working in the building, resulted in damages close to $40,000. In today's dollars, factoring in inflation, that figure would be $1.35 million. During the fire, the statue of Lady Justice fell all the way into the basement. After this event, the building was remodeled to nearly the same specifications, with a few improvements to prevent future fires. In the 1990s, the city of Charlotte decided to build a new modern courthouse, and this original courthouse was turned over to the Courthouse Square Association, dedicated to Eaton County history. Today it is known as the Courthouse Square Museum, and the museum manager, Julie Kimmer, invited me to come film this beautiful building and share with you some of the amazing exhibits that you'll find when you visit. It has a wonderful group of volunteers who maintain the building, care for the curated displays, and the grounds. The museum, sitting on the town square, is the center of many activities in Charlotte, including parades, festivals, as well as many other special events held at the museum throughout the year. This was my first time visiting the museum, and I found the volunteers to be incredibly knowledgeable and passionate about sharing the history of the area that is depicted in so many of the exhibits. In creating this video, I decided I did not want to attempt to explain all the exhibits that you will see here, as it's best done by taking a personal tour. By no means would I ever be able to explain them to you as well as these expert docents who are so familiar with them. That being said, I'll share with you some of my favorite displays and features of this museum from my point of view. To begin with, the building itself is absolutely beautiful. I've always had a passion for red brick and the neoclassical buildings with their elements of Greek and Roman architectural design. This building has such beautiful details, along with the traditional clock tower and columns. I find it absolutely wonderful that this building has been preserved as a museum for future generations. Such a brilliant idea for the city of Charlotte. Inside of the building, it has beautiful hardwood from the trim to the banisters. The museum exhibits are carefully worked into the spaces without taking away from the natural character and beauty of the interior of this historic building. Even the bathrooms have displays that take you back in time. The exhibit spaces that left the greatest impression on me were those that showcase some of the original history of the building, including the library, the judge's chamber, and the courtroom. These spaces are all carefully presented to give you so many details to marvel at, but still allow you as a visitor to take your time to soak in all of its character. Standing in the judge's chamber, you'll feel as if the magistrate who used the office has just stepped away amid an important review of some important matter. In the library, you can feel the knowledge and careful consideration that accompanied so many of the court cases that were tried within these walls. Inside the courtroom, you can hear the clarity of sound in the design, knowing full well that even a whisper across the room may be overheard by the man presiding at the bench. There's so much to feel and experience when you tour these spaces just by themselves. Another aspect that makes this museum an incredible asset to the community of Charlotte is that they rent out the spaces like the courtroom, making it a great venue for parties, banquets, and weddings. Other exhibits in the museum that are most impressive are the many carriages and even a sleigh that came from a company that once manufactured them right there in Charlotte. There's also an old mail wagon on display which still bears its blue colors of the post office. The medical history exhibit showcases a lot of artifacts from the past century of medicine, along with the Charlotte Sanitarium sign on the wall. There are tables, tubs, and chairs, and many other odd instruments that will make you ponder their uses and intent. An annual event that is held at the museum is the Festival of the Oddities, which is being held in September of this coming year. You should check it out on the museum website, and I'll put the link to that in the description of this video. And reserve that date on your calendar. You can bet that I'm going to do the same. Who wouldn't want to attend a Festival of the Oddities? The classroom is another exhibit that is quite wonderful. It has so much detail of the old schoolhouses of yesterday, including the desks, posters, books, and even the classic dunce cap on the teacher's desk. That's no sorting hat, children. Or perhaps it is. Among my favorite displays in the museum, however, is the Munger Hardware Store exhibit, which includes the old wooden catalog system for the many items that they sold, the photos on the walls, and other unique artifacts from the store. 4 generations of the Munger family ran this iconic hardware store in Charlotte, providing this vital service in the community. Standing tall in the exhibit is the Kodiak bear that Bob Munger shot in the 1960s. Bob Munger was an avid outdoorsman and hunter who became good friends with Fred Bear of the bear archery fame. Together, they traveled all over the world on hunting expeditions, and the details of their time together are written in a book called Trailing a Bear, written by Bob Munger about their experiences together. The book is available through the museum, and I highly recommend it as it's an amazing story. I have a copy myself, and you can get a copy through the museum website. Another thing that impressed me on this tour was that they have a tremendous archive of the original court records from the 1800s. Many of these records have been scanned, and these resources are made available to genealogists, which is an incredible asset for those doing research in Eaton County. The volunteers were kind enough to take me into some of the safes where many of these archives are stored, and the sheer volume is a researcher's dream. Finally, the greatest impression of my visit was the wonderfully friendly volunteers that were so willing to cheerfully tour me through the museum. They seem to have mastered the right balance of guiding their visitors, offering needed explanations of the exhibits at the right time, and also knowing when to just fade away to let the person have time to absorb all that they're seeing. They present a great wealth of knowledge while at the same time really enjoying sharing the history of their community. I highly recommend that you put this tour on your list to see. This museum is definitely worth checking out. Certainly check out the many events on the calendar and other features that they have available on their website. It is absolutely a beautiful museum to go visit, and it's located right there in the center of Charlotte.
That's going to do it for the tour today, but Julie, I want you to tell us where the website is. How can people schedule a tour here?
All right. Eaton County's Museum at Courthouse Square is our Facebook page. Our website is csamuseum.net. Most information, is available on both of those. Our phone is 517-543-6999. We're open 9 to 4, Monday through Friday, and for 56 additional events throughout the year this year. So come join us down at Courthouse Square.
Should be a lot of fun. There's all kinds of things to see here, guys. So if you liked today's video, please take a minute to hit the like button and share the video with others, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.